What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another new episode on First Timers. We got myself, Hiro, got Alvin right here, we got Project Attack sitting right behind us, and we got a new product sitting right here that Alvin's going to talk about.
Yes, so we have some new headers that we're going to be installing on Project Attack today. It's by a company called Stainless Works. The beauty about them is it is American made and they're promising amazing fitment. So I'm actually very excited to see if they're actually going to fit better than, like, we'll say hooker headers or headman headers or
hookers.
Yeah, I know. You jerk. But anyway, we have pretty much high flow cats headers that are inside here. We'll start off with the unboxing of this video. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button.
Smash that like.
Yes, smash that like. Don't forget, if you find this video informative, hit that subscribe button. And then we're going to also want you guys to comment if you have any questions.
Cool.
Feel free. And also in the upper right hand corner, don't forget to check out our other Project Attack videos. There's a lot of great ones out there, so we'll put a little playlist so you guys can take a look at that as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Nicely packaged.
Alright. So they kind of are already showing us what comes in the box here. So it looks like we'll have the physical header, high flow cat, clamps. So this will actually be pretty nice. The only thing, it looks like there's a reducer clamp. So we'll have to see if that will be necessary for our particular project, but we'll see.
So reducer is probably for the stock.
For the stock one, yeah.
Stock wide.
And then we have some all-in-one aluminum silicone.
Wow.
So we'll see how this all works.
Literally comes with
It comes with the bolts.
Where's the manifold gasket?
They'll probably be in here. Now that we got everything unboxed here, you can definitely take a look at their build quality. And so far, I'm actually really impressed on how they built these headers. Packaged very well. There's no dents or anything that came, as a surprise. I was super excited. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but they actually did a very good job. So I'm very excited. The couplers are very nice. The cats, high flow cats, are very nice. So I think this is going to be a nice addition to Project Attack here. So as we actually get started on the car, we're going to start by removing all the spark plug wires. Now, I'm not going to show myself removing all of them just because I know that'll be a little boring for you guys, but obviously we'll just do one and then kind of cut to another scene here. But obviously I'm removing them all just so they're out of the way. I'm not removing the spark plugs. I'm leaving them in there just because I think to do this job you don't really need to do that. So if you are worried about breaking them, obviously you can remove them. It's not hard to remove them, but make sure that you keep their orders in their proper spots. I'm usually a big fan about keeping everything in order, from the spark plug wires to the spark plugs themselves. I am using a little bit of a kind of like a breaker bar that I slid over my tool just so it give me a little more leverage, just because some of the stuff was pretty tight. I did have to use a swivel socket on a couple of the bolts on the passenger side. At this point I did have to remove the upper brace just because it was in the way from allowing me to get more leverage, but other than that it was actually very easy to remove. Obviously six bolts, and I'd have to say we probably removed this 3 or 4 times already, so it was actually pretty simple and nice as well. Now as I'm removing it, just make sure that you're not messing up the paint or anything by pulling it off quick and scratching it. Now remove the sensor from behind the cat. It's right there, easy to get to when you're underneath the car. That's the first one. You can remove it on both sides. Now when you're back up top here, and as your partner below is trying to remove the actual stock exhaust here, you just want to make sure that you miss the spark plugs that we left in there so you don't break them. Right now, like I said, I have Hiro there. Again, this is something that I recommend to actually have 2 people, so you have one person on top and one person on bottom, so you can sit there and get everything settled and undone and unbolted to make the job a lot faster. If you're one person trying to do everything, it could be a little more complicated. Now, once you have the old exhaust manifold out, pretty much this is where you can kind of inspect it and see if there's any issues or anything that was going on from oil or anything like that. But I'll kind of actually go over the weight with you guys, just because it was kind of intriguing to kind of see what the weight was from the factory exhaust to the new headers here. Just in case you guys wanted to know the weight from the old one and the new one, the old setup that we just took out of the car was just over 23.3 pounds, and the new setup, the new headers, and the high float cats, they're 15.9 pounds, so just under 16 pounds. So it's actually very cool, very exciting, getting some weight savings in. So anyway, jump back to it. So as you notice, I am using Loctite here, pretty much to lock pretty much all of the bolts. I am just doing a line. I did a little too much on that one, but you can just definitely use a thin line all the way across all the bolts. Have them dry a little bit on the outside while you're trying to get like your gasket on. Now right now I'm not using the RTV kind of like the silicone that they provided, just because these are crushed gaskets, and there shouldn't be any leaks once we lock it down. Now if you did want to use the RTV, you can put them on the pipes, on the headers first, and then use the RTV to kind of hold this gasket in place. But other than that, I mean, for us to have to clean off everything later if we need to pull them back off for any reason, I feel like it would be just too much of a pain. But other than that, like I said, it wasn't too hard to do. Now as we are bolting these guys up, please understand that we did actually have to do something with the actual, we had to actually cut the part of the, I don't want to call it like the ear of the hole for the dipstick tube, but we had to kind of trim a little piece off so the dipstick would actually fit and snug in nice to the actual pipe. Something that we really don't showcase in this video, just because it was kind of a side project. But once you do have the one pipe in, go ahead and move to the other side. Don't tighten it all the way down until you're ready to snug everything all together at the same time. A main reason is you don't want the pipes to have a little bit of a twist in them. Now, as you can see here, Hiro is pulling the actual old header out, or the old exhaust manifold out from underneath the car, and it's still attached because of the upper wire. We had to unclip it from the top, which is not hard to do, but it's just a little bit of a pain because it's behind the motor. Now, as you see Hiro sliding the header back in, there is a little there's a steering arm that comes in right there that we had to disconnect. So, or I should say the steering shaft that we actually had to disconnect to pull the old one out and put the new one in. This one is a little bit more tricky, just because there's a few other things, like I said, in the way. So I had to be ready at the top to actually help guide him as he's trying to kind of snake it through there. And as you can see, there's not a lot of room, just because we don't have a lift to do this. Now a lift would make this job a lot easier, yes, but we worked with what we had and we were able to actually get everything in there. Now, like I said, as Hiro kind of snake the pipe through, you're gonna come back up to me and you'll actually see how I'm kind of handling it. Now, like I said, the hardest part is just getting around the steering shaft, and once we get past the steering shaft there, you'll see that I'll be able to come and grab it and put it right above the actual spark plugs themselves. So now I can kind of rest it on the spark plugs, and I can continue to kind of lock things in and get it all ready. But like I said, you do want to have the gasket ready to go before you start really screwing everything in, just because, if you do 2 or 3 screws, now you're gonna have to undo those screws and then put the gasket in and then re-put the screws back in. But like I said, for now we're just gonna get started just with one, just to kind of hold the header in place, and then Hiro can kind of get back underneath the car and kind of line things up and get it all tightened. But now that I have the gasket in, I am starting to tighten the bolts down, so I'm putting them all in. Again, make sure that you're running Loctite on them. You just don't want these screws to back out. So Loctite on all the screws, screw them in, and you know, like I said, they'll dry on their own. This area should be pretty nice and hot, and you know, like I said, it shouldn't affect the Loctite here. But like I said, it's very nice. We're excited. As we're getting to the end here, you know, obviously we're just gonna need to hook up all the spark plug wires that we all disconnected. Make sure, like I said, you kept them in order, and just plug them right back into where each coil pack and spark plug boot themselves, and then you're done. Now, also underneath the car, we actually had to trim the plastic piece for the cats, just a FYI, just for you guys, so you know.
Alright, you guys, while Alvin's tightening the top, I'm gonna button up the bottom here. Got one clamp, two, go to center bung, third clamp here that goes to the Borla Y pipe. Oh, actually, this is an X pipe, sorry.
We finished.
We are done.
It wasn't as easy as
we thought it would be, like all the other videos we saw.
Making it more difficult.
Yeah, lots of cuts and bruises, lots of curse words were expressed, but it's done.
It's done. It's on the ground.
It's on the ground.
We have the hood open, so we're gonna kind of showcase how it looks with the headers inside, just underneath the hood.
All right, here's a close-up of the driver's side. You can see it right there. All in all, I gotta say, it was a pretty well-made kit. Everything fit perfectly. It doesn't hit any of the body parts. You didn't have to customize anything.
Well, except the bottom plastic.
Except for the bottom plastic.
And the oil dipstick tube.
Oh, shoot. So let me take that back.
So there was some cutting. But other than that, the cutting I felt was very minimal. It's not going to affect the performance of the car whatsoever.
Yep.
And then we'll go into how it sounds, because I know that's what you guys are here to. Yeah, so we'll put the before when we just installed the Borla Attack, and then we'll kind of let you hear the difference with the actual exhaust here. So the before and after, let you hear.
With the headers.
Yeah, with the headers. We're excited. You can't see the smiles on our faces. We're like,
I know. It's there.
So, we kind of brought the neighbors out. Neighbors were all excited to see the car, hear it. So yeah, it's badass.
Yeah. So.